Ladies and gentlemen, to Dylan Gott's fucking podcast, The Rest Review. My name is Dylan Gott.
Oh, my name is Dylan Gott too. I'm Dylan Gott.
Oh my god. Two horrible men together.
Oh yeah, it's the piss fucker and Dr. Cunt. We're here to talk about Kimberly Page.
That's right, Dr. Cunt. But guess this, I'm a proctologist.
hey, if they got proctologists, how come there's no cocktologists?
What? Yeah. Hey. I just want to let you know. They're not people. Who? Anyone that's not like me.
Fuck shit, fuck cunt. That's what
Today,
we do
ladies and
with the rest of the
gentlemen.
review. We start off just swearing, and then we move into, of course, John. Tell us a little bit about the wonderful person that we're profiling today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're profiling Kimberly Page, a woman whose life is not nearly as sad as I was prepared for.
Here's what I liked about it. Can I tell you what I liked?
Yeah.
I liked that, much like a lot of women in wrestling, she stopped.
Yeah.
She didn't
What I like
keep
about
on
Kimberly,
going.
what I also like about Kimberly Page is she's clearly like, this is a good little job, good way to spend time with my husband. What's that? We're getting divorced. I don't like you. I don't like yoga. Goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. She guaranteed she was in one indie locker room, and everyone was like, this is what the business is all about. And she's like, you know what it's actually about? Lots of money and never seeing you eye to eye.
Here's the
Goodbye,
thing
Ian
that's very
Rotten.
interesting about wrestling. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, she called Ian Rotten just to queef down the phone receiver. Kim, are you?
I don't
are
know
you?
if Kimberly Page is like that.
I think she did. I think Kimberly Page survived so long in the WCW locker room. Like, because you have to remember, in terms of locker rooms where things were very inappropriate, it goes ECW, WCW, WWE. Now, I'm not saying the WWE locker room was a safe place. I'm just saying it was safer than the ECW or WCW locker room.
That was what I would say, though, is like, hey, I'm the Undertaker. If your husband's seen your tits, then I get to see them because
Yeah, exactly. You just had a son. Why isn't the son come to the locker room and shaking my hand? He's 3 days old. I guess you want to be a jobber. Like, do you understand how big of a bitch the Undertaker is? Like, I got news for you. The Undertaker, I guarantee the Undertaker thinks he's a cop. Like, I guarantee he'd be like, I recently saw one of the most cringy things ever is, I don't know, there's a YouTuber named Dan Bilzerian.
I was by internet connection. Go for it.
Oh, it's named Dan Bilzerian, who's just his dad was just a guy who was basically Gordon Gekko, but in real life, like did all sorts of illegal, shady shit, and then hid a bunch of his money in his son's name, and then his son turned 18 and just became a lifestyle influencer and keeps spending like millions upon millions of dollars of his dad's illegal money on like renting a mansion and saying he's starting a vape company. All true things. Anyway, he was at the Las Vegas shooting and he tried to film a video of asking a cop for his gun. Oh, Dan Bilzerian was in the Navy and claims that he went through SEAL training twice, but didn't get through because he had broken legs. And like every actual army person on the internet's like, no, that's not true. Anyway, he's like, he has a video up
the Dan Bilzerian stuff
all over the
internet
YouTube.
Connection fucked up for 2 seconds, and then you were just talking about Dan Bilzerian.
If this is going to cycle back to the Undertaker and then cycle back to Kimberly Page, face? That's me and my brother.
Well, maybe just cut the you part out. Your brother looks very upset to be on the mug. Anyway, John,
did you
know this? I've been diagnosed with attention deficit disorder, and I get a tax credit. How do you feel about that, John?
When did that happen?
That happened just now, just today. I got the disability, and I'm gonna get that tax credit.
You getting that? Yep. Let me finish this Dan Bilzerian point. He goes up to a cop and goes, "Give me a gun," during an active shooting, and the cop just goes, "No," and then he's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do here. I thought I was a cop." That's the Undertaker every day. And Kimberly Page shops at the same Whole Foods because I guarantee she lives in a part of the U.S. where it's like taxes are very reasonable. You can live off of investments. And she sees the Undertaker across the Whole Foods aisle. She's buying a nice carrot juice. He's trying to buy T-bone steaks because he thinks they're vegan. And she just shakes his head and is like, and they tried to say my husband would stalk this idiot's wife. Like, that's what I imagine Kimberly Page is like.
Well, this is the other thing about Dan Bilzerian.
Decked out in Lululemon is our Kimberly Page. Decked.
Ooh. Kimberly Page apparently just has a very normal life. She's married to a new
course.
man. Good for her.
She's probably
You're married
she's
to
probably.
him? I guarantee that's what her husband says. This man?
I
That's
guarantee Diamond Dallas Page sends them an excellent Christmas present every year, and they have a very cordial and polite relationship.
Well, from what it sounds like, it was a lot more like Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth, except that in the end, Kimberly Page and Diamond Dallas Page. Basically, Kimberly Page was like, try yoga, and DDP was like, I have been off the rails. I'm very sorry. And they just like moved past it as two mature people did. Whereas Macho Man was like, I'm going to crash a car and kill myself just so you feel bad.
And by the way, you'll be dead, so it'll have to be pretty intense over here.
You die, then I die. That's how this works. No one gets out alive. It's for the business.
I'm gonna leave Lex Luger as a witness. Oh yeah. He will be thin in a way that makes him look like an old lady.
There you go.
Ooh, snap into a Slim Jim. Anyway, so Kimberly Page was born January 1st, 1969. Lucky girl.
YOLO. Can I add one thing? When you talked
Yeah.
about Dan Bilzerian, the people who like Dan Bilzerian are the same people who yell about wrestling being fake and how much they hate it, and that's because they fall for shit like Dan Bilzerian, and they know that, like, they can't like wrestling because it's fake because they almost believe it's real.
That's so funny because
Guaranteed all those guys when CM Punk did the pipe bomb promo was like, "This, I think this shit was real though, guy."
Yeah, you just fixed a bit for me. Oh, this is really good. I've been trying to figure out like all of my friends have started getting very angry that I still like wrestling.
Have tarded?
I've started is what I said.
You said tarded. You can listen to it
No, shut up.
back. They tarded.
No,
There you go.
we're not doing that.
John's a baby.
I don't think that was the voice you did.
John's a baby.
That's not the voice.
John,
you did.
how are you sitting on that chair without your neck supported, you baby? Go for it.
I'm being burped by God. Which is anyone who's like wrestling's fake, you're a loser for watching it, will then immediately start talking to me about crypto. And it's like, fun fact, fuckface, my thing isn't going to eventually cost me all my money because I'm not buying Affliction t-shirts if they were a currency.
Yeah, at least if you spend all your money on wrestling, you have a bunch of fucking sweet-ass belts.
Mm-hmm. If you spend all your money on wrestling, you might, maybe, start a very lucrative podcast empire.
It's true. The barrier to entry in wrestling is super low, and
the barrier to entry
robes is
to being
really sweet.
to be a financially successful internet wrestling podcast, all you basically need is the patience to put up with phone calls from an old wrestler. Oh,
You got a fake interest, genuine interest in what, like, Assassin number 5 thinks or whatever. Also, we should do this. Thank you very much for our new patrons.
oh yeah.
Thank you very much. We've got that goal of 100 patrons. Please feed our children. Well, just my kid right now, but John will probably have a kid. Why not?
Yeah, I want to put the money in my cockhole. I want to put food down my dick to feed my unborn kids.
I have a dream of sending my son to college or university for whatever he wants. John has a dream that he can actually inhale through his cockhole so he can get wasted off blow on his dick only.
That's right. I want to be able to say, you know what we're doing tonight? We're doing dick coke.
If you're watching the
Yeah.
video, that's me trying to suck in through my dick. No noise. You just because then you. That's what the
Yeah.
noise is.
I would love to be able to do cocaine with my dick so I could make doing cocaine with friends in a toilet even weirder.
Well, you could just mushroom tip it, so you're like, good, the dickhead's numb, and then you're like, now to Home Hardware, and then
Why am I
when
going
Home Hardware, when Home Hardware is open to fucking midnight, I want to smash my cock with a hammer.
Here's the thing that I've said before and I'll say again.
Yeah.
It is so funny how we treat teachers in that we're like, hey, you're pieces of shit. You failed and now you do this job. Watch my kid. And it's also that we trust construction workers to build things. Because in terms of how many different people I've seen definitely on cocaine in the morning, all of them were general contractors.
Hey, man, sometimes you're just good at building things, and sometimes building things easy, so what do? You get fucking ripped up.
That's right. That's goddamn right. So Dylan, Kimberly Page was born January 1st, 1969 in Chicago, Illinois, possibly close to the studio. apartment.
There you go.
She luckily immediately moved to Florida, which is why she ended up in this circus life. What I think happened is her parents were like, if we stay in Chicago, she will have a regular future. Let's head to Florida. So at least once in her life, she has to point towards a boat like this.
Apparently she, really this sounds oddly a lot like my experience with wrestling, where she would try and watch it and her parents would be like, it's too violent and they're all losers and you're not going to be a loser. So they turned it off, but then that just made her want to watch wrestling more, baby.
Wow, your parents were wrong.
Yeah, wrestling doesn't make you a loser. It makes you fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Little did they know a little thing called being an incel and My Little Pony porn would be a thing, and wrestling is so far down the totem pole of weird things now.
This is the crazy thing is Disney is looking to buy wrestling because luckily Incel and QAnon came along, and it was basically like, heats off wrestling. We're taking this face from relatives at a family gathering from you. And they were like, thank you very much. Thank you. All right, just to let you know, we think your owner is also a satanic pedophile. And it's like, that's like literally the only thing he isn't. So thank you for that also.
Yeah, it's also like, oh yeah, the world is run by a cabal of pedophiles. What are you watching right now? This chef's pissed off because somebody ruined his souffle, so he's fighting over the TV title. Okay,
Yeah.
That's not even 1/4 as weird as something I truly believe.
Yeah. And that's pretty crazy because, like, bear in mind, like, Kimberly Page in wrestling for a time, her job was she was the woman who supported a man whose entire gimmick was he has an ass.
Well, also,
because she was the booty babe. Don't fucking interrupt me.
She did not like that. She did not like being called the booty babe in public,
No one
which is
would
such
like
a cute thing. I don't know. It's on, like, literally.
Yeah, but she was the diamond doll. All right, let's get to her career so we can get into it.
No, I want to get into one thing. She graduated from Auburn University. That's prestigious.
Right. Roll Tide. Is that the right one?
No, it's not. Auburn, not even close. Alabama's Roll Tide.
I think Auburn's in Alabama.
Auburn's in Alabama? Look Auburn up. I will say more things from the lovely research.
Bitch, it's in Alabama. Yeah, is that what we said? Yeah.
Auburn, Alabama? No, Alabama's... Okay, well, she graduated from Auburn.
She graduated from Auburn.
I know what Auburn is because they have some pretty good sports teams. So
I'll tell you, this is not... I mean, Auburn's in real trouble. If you Google Auburn, first thing that comes up, Auburn University reports 2 sexual assaults on campus in 24 hours. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Unfortunately, you Google any institution, you're going to find something like that, unfortunately.
Oh, jeez.
Uh-oh, we went to the left, and that was a bad part of town. Anyway, she met Paige Falkenberg in 1989. She was on a date, and then he, I assume, screamed at her about...
They were on a date. No, they were on a date.
She was on a date with someone else.
She was on a date with someone else. They went to his nightclub.
Yes.
DDP did exactly what that kind of guy would have definitely done, which is just with unnecessary confidence, tried to fuck a hot girl that was 19 that was with someone
already
else.
On a date, yeah.
Already on a date. It somehow worked, and they stayed together and may or may not have been swingers with Eric Bischoff and his wife.
Both of them vehemently deny that, and especially Bischoff, who said, fucking, I hated Kimberly and she hated me.
That makes me believe it more. Because...
Wrestling is weird though, especially pre internet, where it's like, yeah, like you hear fucking the only fucking reason Bischoff's even fucking got Kimberly on TV is because he fucks her. Like that sounds like just like a high school rumor. Much like the Shane and much like the Stephanie and Macho Man thing, where it's like that did not happen.
I want that to be real.
Why do you want that to be real? Let's examine why you want an old man to hook up with a 15-year-old.
Because I want that Vince McMahon is evil enough that his solution to that horrific thing happening is to not put Randy Savage in the Hall of Fame. He doesn't call the police. He doesn't try and get therapy for his daughter. He's like, you know where you work? You work around all of the memory of that horrible day, Stephanie. You work around it for the rest of your life. And don't worry, I'll punish the dead man by not ruining his legacy and letting us all know that he's a horrible, horrible man, even though we're pretty sure because his attitude towards marriage was wife lives in closet. No. I'm going to make sure he doesn't go into the Hall of Fame that's not really a building. That's where it's like, that's why wrestling is so insane. is also, by the way, 100% could be the strategy. Vern, why didn't you turn in Buck Zumoff? I needed someone to be in the opening match. What are you fucking looking at me? Jim Cornette, didn't you know anything about Grizzly Smith's behavior? His wife didn't come to the matches.
He was a good fucking worker.
Yeah, like this is that's why with wrestling you're just like, no, you have to assume the worst, because also nowhere else in the world where they're like, we dealt with it. He wasn't allowed to be the United States champion for 6 months. Do you know how embarrassing that is?
Everyone got that fucking belt.
Yeah, it was so fucking insane.
Anyway, here's what you can say about this, suck boy. Kimberly Page falls under the spell of DDP. I'm assuming he just did Coyote Ugly on the bar, and then she was like, that's my man. He is, of course, 34. She is 21. Not a fun time for Kim. Well, that's what she said, is basically that when she started dating him, he was a man and she was a girl, so he would just kind of dictate what happened. And and then once 2004 is when they get divorced, she's 35, so it's basically like, by that point she's like, no, I'm gonna do this, and he's like, oh, that's interesting, I'm gonna go fly across the world and try and get the warlord on to pills.
Yeah, that's interesting, Kimberly, because I don't know if you've noticed it, but I'm off trying to make the People's Champ versus the People's Champ happen.
But anyway, I find Kimberly so fascinating because she's one of the only people who, like, WCW stopped and then she stopped wrestling.
Yeah, obviously.
But like also, voluntarily, because she was like,
quickly talk about how
we can talk about anything.
I went into this episode being like, Kimberly Page and Diamond Dallas Page, a healthy marriage for healthy people. And it's like, even when it fucking started, they married when she was 21 and he was 34. Like that is so fucking, like, you're like, oh, why is that the healthy one?
Yeah, he really enjoyed that power dynamic for sure.
Of course he did.
Yeah. But also, like, she's like super hot. We can also say that.
Oh, here we go.
John, mute your microphone. I got some noises to make.
Of course. All right. Hang on, everyone.
How are you?
That came right through my ears. Like I couldn't hear anything else, but all I heard was.
For those of you that don't have the video, basically, when I do yoga to suck my own D, I have to do Adam Sandler noises beforehand to get my body lubed, and then that's my own D, and then I do Adam Sandler voices to reset my body.
No, it's even crazier.
What?
What's even crazier?
What's crazy, John? Tell me what's
You have to do yoga
crazy.
to suck your own dick because your dick isn't big enough to just. I have to be careful.
To just slightly tilt your head.
Yeah, I have to be careful just saying yes to anything, or my penis will actually just flop into my mouth.
Just flop soft. Good for you.
Yeah, like it'll just like kaboom is the noise it makes. You're like, "Wow, what just happened?" I was like, "Oh, my penis just went in my own mouth."
We took this episode exactly where everyone thought it would go, and I'm
You know
proud
what they
of us.
say? You know what they say? They say give the people what they want, and they want two guys that would have been into ICP if they were popular in Canada.
That's funny.
Just talking about a nice lady who was
remember
in an awkwardly distributed power dynamic.
I remember first hearing ICP, and you understand when ICP first came out, people didn't think it was silly. People were like, these guys are fucking crazy, and all the fucking raps they have are insane. And then I listened to it, and then I was just not, and I wasn't even, I would love to say I made fun of it, but I was just like, why are these guys so mad at Santa? And then I just turned it off.
I mean, I'll never forget.
9/11.
I've forgotten 9/11 a couple of times. I thought it happened in November.
Okay. Oh shit, November 9th.
Yeah. What the hell? What the? Insane Clown Posse. Their fascination with how magnets aren't real. Just that, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to. How is America the #1 country? I'll tell you how.
It's proof God's real. How the fuck does magnets work?
Yeah, I don't know. They're fucking insane. Anyway, so they get married to Diamond Dallas Page. She worked in the advertising industry and in PR, obviously. And then Diamond Dallas Page joined the wrestling business, moved them to Atlanta, even though she wanted to stay in Chicago and go into advertising.
Well, this is the interesting
he
thing. I
convinced
thought.
her
Yeah.
that they would make more money. I'm pretty sure the research
Yeah.
is written where it's like he has more earning potential. No,
He's very smart because here's what he did. He was like, "Hey, you're super hot.
yeah,
Come be my valet. There's a real hole in the industry." And like Diamond Dallas Page is so smart because he's the definition of a guy who like against all odds became a world champion, and here's how he did it. He just befriended wrestlers who were so talented and didn't have their shit together. And he's
100%.
still like, I don't want to say that he hasn't obviously helped Jake the Snake Roberts and helped Scott Hall, but these guys within their industry, and I'm sure there's people within every industry listening to this where it's like, oh man, if that guy got his shit together, he'd be fucking amazing. Or that girl
Yeah.
got their shit together, they'd fucking be amazing. And that's what Jake the Snake Roberts and Scott Hall did. And DDP was just right there. So when like these people were like, he would just basically get in conversations. I don't know this for sure, but he's the type of dude who would get in conversation with a higher up about how talented Jake or Scott is if they only got their fucking shit together. And then obviously these guys feel indebted to them, so they're near the top of the card. They're constantly suggesting Diamond and Dallas Page for things. And then he immediately becomes friends with Eric Bischoff. Like, what a genius. And he comes in 1994. And
also it's even better
for a
than
dude
that.
who's controlling, you get tabs on your wife. And she's making you more money because you stand out. Because let's be very honest with this. In 1994 and 1995, when I was watching Diamond Dallas Page, I didn't give a fucking shit about Diamond Dallas Page. I thought the Diamond Cutter was cool, but I didn't give a fucking shit about Diamond Dallas Page. Kimberly Page was the most beautiful woman that 10-year-old boy had ever seen.
I completely agree with you. Diamond Dallas Page played it so smart because he basically went, protect my finishing move. My wife will walk out wearing something 90s revealing. And everyone at Turner Broadcasting went, revealing, you say? Get this man in the ring. Like,
And
it was
she's
so,
yeah.
And also, Kimberly is such a watchable, dynamic human being. Like, she's incredibly charming on television herself. So it's also this thing of, it was a healthier version of the macho Elizabeth dynamic, because also Kimberly Page didn't really talk. They also really did some cool. They actually made Diamond Dallas Page, and this is something I would absolute credit WCW with. I was feeling a little low last night, so I watched Halloween Havoc '94, one of my personal favorite pay-per-views. And it was the first WCW pay-per-view I ever watched because I saw an advertisement at the Future Shop about Hulk Hogan possibly retiring, and I remember saying to my mom, I was like, "Well, we've got to watch this, Mom. He might. It's Hulk Hogan. You want to be left out of history?" So we watched that, and that pay-per-view is so exciting for no other reason that if you're coming from the WWF, which all the matches you're seeing are just job guys, and then you go to WCW and it's Vader, and then Diamond Dallas Page is walking out with Kimberly Page and he's chewing a cigar. Like, it just looked so different and interesting that you had to do it. By the way, Dylan is not paying attention. Dylan is just
No, I have ADD. No, I have to get back to this immediately,
Snake.
so I'm doing that right now.
He's playing Snake.
You got to get tested for ADD, man. We could be the ADD podcast for wrestling, and also we'd get fucking tax breaks, and we'd be brave.
I don't know if I
Look at those brave guys constantly going off topic. Why do they always go on topic? Because they're sick.
I mean, I think I definitely. I don't know if it's just
You have, if I have ADD, you have AAAADDDDD.
No, I just have something different that manifests in different ways.
Manifests?
Yeah, I have
Ass
dyspraxia,
disorder.
and dyspraxia has various similar results.
You almost fell asleep. You know what this?
It's because I'm trying to prevent a sneeze from coming. Scratch my nose. Thank you.
Put your nose up there. No, put your nose up to the camera. We got to right up to the camera. Oh, dear, itching your nose. Yeah, itching your nose. That's what you pay for.
Okay.
That's why you pay. That's why you pay your $10 on Patreon to see.
Yeah, so suck my dick.
Kimberly Page, I want to say this too. She's like Miss Elizabeth in that she is equal parts beautiful and equal parts non-threatening. She's very much she's the girl next door. Diamond Dallas Page, of course, limits her mic time because he needs to be the dude with all the gimmicks. He has the diamond doll. And really, I'd be surprised if it wasn't an early forerunner where Triple H comes out seeing Diamond Dallas Page and isn't like rotating valets and then you pick one. That's a great idea. And that's because remember, that's what Triple H did. He had rotating valets, and then he eventually had Sable. And Sable, of course, is around because Mark Merrow's in WCW at this time.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we should get into actually Kimberly Page's some of her career. She comes out as the Diamond Doll. She credits, of course, Sherry Martel with a lot of her growth within the industry because who didn't? Sherry Martel do a great job. And really, she is won. This is classic wrestling. She is won by Johnny B. Bad. And here's the crazy part where, because of kayfabe, she had to travel with Mark Merrow, which she said was weird. Because, of course, it's weird.
Do you know what the other part that they include in this storyline? Which was it's also revealed that the Diamond Doll was the one with all the money, not Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, yeah.
So
they do classic, Baron Corbin.
So he becomes super poor.
I always love those storylines where a guy loses all his money.
I love it because they made him come out. He'd come out with an old broken cigar and he'd have ripped trunks. Oh, it was so fucking good.
But also, how smart is Diamond Dallas Page to be like, yo, this young Eric Bischoff guy is looking for new talent, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what the fuck he's looking for. So you get in here, you can make $150K per year.
I actually think that Bischoff knew exactly what he was doing, and Diamond Dallas Page at that time was your perfect mid-card utility heel. Because you have to remember, WCW was not using job guys. The reason why we got dynamic, interesting wrestling on weekly TV is not a Vince McMahon innovation. It comes from the fact that the WCW was rooted in the NWA. The NWA would present actual matches on television because they didn't rely on pay-per-view revenue. That was carried forward into the pay-per-view era for WCW. Diamond Dallas Page and Kimberly Page were so fucking perfect in this time because that's exactly, they could be first match on a pay-per-view, first match on WCW Saturday night. Here's a little storyline that they have going. It's constantly evolving and changing to the point of its Diamond Doll is with Johnny B. Bad. Does she black up? No, thank God. Then she heads over and is with the Booty Man. Why is he called the Booty Man? I literally don't know. I literally do not know. I can't fit. Why? Who was like, Brutus the Barber Beefcake? But he's just into asses.
I like the fact that Brutus Beefcake was a male stripper, and then they were like turned it obviously into like he's like a barber, and then WCW had a meeting where it was like, we got to explicitly say this guy likes to fuck ass. How about ass fuck man? Okay, Booty Man's good. I'd rather be ass fuck man. We should also talk about how Evad Sullivan didn't like the way DDP was treating Kimberly, and Evad Sullivan, what's his gimmick?
He's dyslexic, so his name is spelled.
So he only spells his first name backwards, though.
Yeah, I mean, I preferred Evad Sullivan when they just made him the world's #1 Hulkamaniac, and they don't explicitly say it, but it's like, get it? He's a wrestler, but also he has developmental problems with his brain.
Yep. And then Vince McMahon had a timer in his office, and as soon as that counted down, he's like, good, we can do another one. Get Eugene out there. And he was just like, yeah. It's been long enough. Yeah. Eugene, yeah. Where's Dave Sullivan? I'm going to make him suck my dick, and then he doesn't get to be the character. He'll think it does, but ha.
There's a secret thing in wrestling, which is there can only be one explicitly full developmentally delayed character on television. And Vince McMahon was very angry at WCW for two things. One, they got the Giant. Two, they did that character before him. Vince McMahon's plan for that character was Eugene was originally going to be called Ted Turner, and he would just come in the ring and shit his pants and cry.
And eat the diaper?
Yeah. I'm hungry for my poop. My butt chocolate's going in my mouth. Ted, what a maneuver. Ted Turner. What a maneuver. Ted Turner.
My favorite thing about...
Never forget, Vince McMahon was beaten for 83 weeks by a guy who had literally no experience running a giant wrestling company. He was beaten for 83 weeks by that, and Vince McMahon could not handle that, so he lies to everyone and says it was Ted Turner. Ted Turner in no way was paying attention to WCW in
At
any
all.
way possible. No, not even close.
And this is happening again. What he was presented was with another company with a budget.
Yeah, exactly. He was presented with another company with a budget, and the CEO was not actively fighting a cocaine addiction. Passively, not actively.
So this is the one thing I wanted to touch on was that the Evad Sullivan Kimberly Page feud ended, of course, or sorry, Diamond Dallas Page feud ended, of course, with Diamond Dallas Page winning.
Of course it did.
Which, I mean, obviously you want Diamond Dallas Page to win against these like opponents, but like maybe just don't do the storyline in the first place then if it's going to end with a handicapped guy getting beaten up.
Yes, and it was actually very fun. They were going to keep her with Bad, but he fucked off to the WWF, so they popped her with the Booty Man. By the way, she was able to go as Kimberly with as Johnny B. Bad's valet, but then they put her with the Booty Man, and they were like, oh, pardon me, his actual name, Ass Fuck Man. And so they were like, yeah, you better be called the Booty Babe. And she's like, wait, what? I'm dehumanized again? And they're like, yeah, wrestling.
You don't have a name.
Yeah. Anyway, she says the idea came from Kevin Sullivan, and she liked the idea of working with Ed Leslie as she enjoyed him as Brutus. She didn't care for people shouting booty girl at her in public, particularly in front of her mother, which made her cringe. This nice person really went through it. She
really never should have been in wrestling.
Absolutely not. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we get the best feud in the second best feud in WCW after Macho Man Ric Flair, I would say, is DDP Macho Man. It's an ECW feud in WCW done by two insanely type A people. So it is so well done. The way it's launched is Diamond Dallas Page refuses to join the NWO. So Kimberly and Macho Man reveal that, Elizabeth and Macho Man reveal that Kimberly Page appeared in Playboy. They show the magazine, and then Kimberly and then DDP and Macho Man have some of the most intense matches ever for months and months and months and months, to the point that the Great American Bash in 1997 was just main evented by these two men having a fight. And everyone was like, yeah, it's good. That is good stuff.
And then and it's one of those clear wrestling angles, but the way I remember it was she comes out, and this is all posted on all our socials. It's one of the greatest angles. You can see the full angle on our Facebook. It's facebook.com/wrestler review, where obviously Facebook allows you the Facebook pages. Facebook's fucked, but it does let you post like super long stuff. Like last week, I just posted like 8 of Meltzer's 5-star matches on our Facebook with no problem. Kimberly comes down to the ring. She's just in the ring, and the NWO comes down, and Hulk Hogan's just yelling, get her, get her, get her, and they surround her. And this is the best thing about WCW. Any other company, not around that time, maybe not WWF, but definitely ECW, they would have just fucking slammed her. But what they did was they surrounded her slowly like Saturday Morning Villains, and then DDP comes charging out. They intercept him, and of course it's the only reason they've done anything was we're gonna make Kimberly watch us beat up her husband, which is like such a good general bad guy work.
I believe this is one of the many times Hulk Hogan attempts the diamond cutter, and it is, oh my God, bad. Like you watch it and you're like,
he can't do anything.
You ever a wrestler? Were you ever able to do that?
It's crazy though, watching him in Japan where it's like he knows he actually has to do stuff, and he does.
I know, it's so funny. Well, it's also I want to just say at this time, go and watch this feud. If you're not in America, so you have access to the full WWF network still, go watch this feud. It is a chef's kiss.
It is really, and I'm sure there's places online that you can find someone who just has made the jailbroken the network. Some beautiful. That's why wrestling fans are the best, man. Once again, that Gary Hart audiobook where someone was like, "No one must be robbed of Gary Hart's book," and just put it on YouTube is fucking amazing. Like, what a. Thank God wrestling fans are.
Do you understand if it wasn't for the fans, wrestling fans being the way they are, no one would know who Don Jardine is?
They need to schedule WrestleMania in New Orleans in 2030 so that we can assure that it does not go underwater.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, wrestling fans will be like, finally, now a reason to stop global warming. Then Eric Bischoff, and this is my favorite part about the discussion around him and DDP and Eric Bischoff's wife, and Kimberly Page swinging together, which is Eric Bischoff. And the way he says this is so fucking mealy mouthed scumbag. I happen to know who started the. Oh, fuck. I closed it. I closed it, Dylan. It's back. It's back. It's back.
Well, I happen to know. There you go.
Where is it? It's no.
Before you mention that,
here.
we should talk about her Playboy appearance. This is another thing where people don't talk about it, but like she's in Playboy before Sable, before everybody else, and it's also another good example of how WCW does not take advantage of things, because the WWF, when someone was on Playboy,
it's all they would have talked about,
and they come out with the Playboy cover. Like, this is Kimberly Page's Playboy appearance is guaranteed why the WWE got that exclusive deal with Playboy, because like everyone wants to see wrestlers. Wrestling valets in the nude, obviously. We're all perverts. And they'll promote it. It was just like a passing thing they would mention on television that Kimberly Page was in Playboy, versus the WWF where it's like the valet DDP would have been pissed because Kimberly was in there and he would have been the jealous husband, all this. But obviously...
Oh, that's right. And by the way, one other thing, and you need to all know this. DDP's also in the spread. I was trying to remember this. Yeah,
he's there just like smoking a cigar, which is so funny to be like, even he has to even step on that where it's like, why is this guy here?
Yeah. Also, I forgot Kimberly Page is in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah, her tit falls out.
Yeah, her tit falls out. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Phenomenal. Her tit falls out. That's phenomenal.
Do you know she's got a speaking role in that flick? That, oh my God, she's still probably getting a nice residual check from that. A little bit of mailbox money from his Page. Hello.
I mean, not as much mailbox money as she deserves for like the fact that they don't give residuals for people based on what clips they get paid on the network is like brilliant for Vince McMahon. Like,
I mean,
that $9.99 a month or whatever it costs now is made a lot less, because with pay-per-view revenue, you have to pay the pay-per-view company and you have to pay pay-per-view points to your talent, and now that is gone.
That's not a thing. Now what they have to do is Vince McMahon just takes all of his money and he throws it at, he just keeps it in a big glass box in every arena. Mine.
The point of money is to keep it and show people they don't like you.
The point of money is to fuck you.
Fuck the money. You fuck the money.
The money.
You put the money in your dicky. You put it in your little dicky.
I'm going to I feed $1 to my pesos, $1 to my pesos.
So Kimberly said that basically this is where Eric Bischoff explains that he knows who started the rumor of him, Diamond Dallas Page, his wife, and Kimberly swinging. And he says basically, me and Kimberly never really got along. And Kimberly wouldn't say that because she's too much of a diamond doll herself. So basically she says, Eric was a great creative guy, but he's fucking gross, and no.
Yeah. What I bet also, one of the things that I wanted to read it out is Eric Bischoff says, and I'm not going to mention the individual's name because it could be further from the truth, but he goes, nothing could be further from the truth. And let's set aside the fact that I would never participate in that for a whole lot of reasons. It's like, how many reasons do you have, Eric? You've definitely.
Why wouldn't you? Like, when everyone looks at that deal, they think, Eric Bischoff is the one benefiting so much.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, no, I wouldn't fuck these two hot people.
Yeah.
Because you want to know what? I like a really pretty face.
Well, I mean, it is for, obviously, he's not going to come out and say that for his own marriage, to be like, I wish.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
First of all, we do not swing with other women. We are in hot wife fantasy only. I am a cuck. Eric.
I am a cuckold. Let's take a quick break.
Cuck.
And then we'll keep talking about... We got to talk about the Nitro Girls, which is something that also Kimberly was ahead of the game on. And then we got to talk about Kimberly Page as a fucking heel.
In the New Blood.
In the New Blood. And she's, weirdly, I think that she would have fit right in some stuff that WWF was doing at the time.
That's right. We got to do
more
all
about that. Welcome back from a long and passionate break.
Oh my god, I broke off a bit of my own dick. I full jacked off in front of Dylan. He loved it.
Oh, that's all we take breaks to do. We take breaks to take a break off. You know what I mean? Break of
That's right.
jizz.
Break off some of my piss. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. Kimberly Page has survived the NWO, and we enter that phase of WCW where it's like, we made so much money last year, let's spend it on weird shit.
I think the Nitro Girls, which Kimberly and Eric Bischoff basically are like, we should have cheerleaders on the show as like a break in the action. And the Nitro Girls really were a great part of
They absolutely
Nitro.
were, and they weirdly will never do it again. But it
Yeah, I wonder
actually
why.
is, well, because it is a bit kind of like, these women can't get in the ring, but they can dance for us. Which is a little like, what the? But at the same time, it is incredibly, like, it is an incredibly differentiating feature of Nitro than Raw, because Raw didn't have dancing girls. It'd be like, there are dancing girls, and Kane's killed them all.
Well, the closest they get to this on Raw is like Sunny having that interview segment where they basically try and do Piper's Pit, but Sunny's on a bed. And then Vader wants to bang.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Welcome to Sunny's bedroom. It's time,
It's time to smell the sheets.
Yeah,
I'm gonna smell your dick. Yeah. So, yeah, of course, they have the Nitro Girls. Not much happens. I mean, Nitro Girls are there basically to dance and then occasionally be in angles, be scared off by scary heels, that type of thing. Kimberly Page, in a very wrestling move, is, hey, we should have a troupe of dancers. Can you dance? Oh, absolutely not. I'll just find other dancers.
Yeah. No. For some reason, Eric Bischoff read a bit about marketing, and he says that a used brand should be part of this. So I will use someone that's already been on our television to sell this dance troupe. Does that matter at all? Yes. What will she do? Stand awkwardly in a pantsuit.
Yeah, she'll stand there, and then people who are better at dancing will dance. But
It's
I mean,
so funny
he's
'cause
right.
The poor Nitro girls, like, hey, what are we doing? We're basically just finding a bunch of the wrestlers' wives. Will they have good relationships? Booker T, yes. Shawn Michaels, no. I love
Hey,
you. I love you too. Also,
yeah.
I'm a giant cokehead and a piece of shit.
Oddly, though, I guarantee the Nitro Girls were paid better than actual cheerleaders. Because actual cheerleaders are paid like fucking nothing. You can look up the average pay for like an NFL cheerleader or an NBA cheerleader right now, and it's
what is
like,
the average pay?
try and look it up, because there was a bunch of articles just basically about like these are billion-dollar industries who are paying like essentially some of their performers fucking nothing, and then like the guy who sweeps up the court.
Oh my god.
How much do they get paid?
$150 on game day.
150. I was gonna say 1,000, but 100. Fucking Christ! $150.
How many games are they playing regular season in the NFL?
Fuck. They play 8. They play 8 home games. So these women get, for a whole season, they get barely over $1,000. They get $1,200 for an entire season of NFL football.
That is, and I mean,
And they're probably subcontractors, so there's tax taken off of that.
I hope. Oh, yeah. I guarantee. Yeah, you're making $1,200 a season. Jerry Jones is making I like to grease you like a wheel. What the fuck?
Well, that's the thing, is that they make, if you are a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, then I guarantee it's like you make more money, but you have to do it in the fucking grossest way, which is like a bunch of businessmen will hire you and just be like, and the Cowboys cheerleaders are here. And then
they're
like,
gonna suck up.
Let me first say, hey, Cowboys cheerleaders.
Hi. My name is Jerry Jones, and I want to eat your skin flake.
So Kimberly becomes a heel on television where she becomes a fucking bitch towards Diamond
this
Dallas.
is so fucking good. So it's, again, this is one of the weirdest parts of WCW, and that is saying something. They literally stopped doing the company for 2 weeks, and they're like, let's be honest, we were shit. We're going back to when it was good. And you know when it was good? Eric Bischoff was on television just leading a bunch of heels. That's not really what was good about it. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, so it's like if your takeaway from the reason why Star Wars A New Hope was good is because it was filmed in the 70s.
Or just or literally, if you were like, you know why the original Star Wars worked, is because Darth Vader was alive. So let's do a thing where like Darth Vader isn't dead. We'll bring him back for 6, 7.
Let's just do something different. No. You're not getting it. There's only one idea in wrestling. That's literally not true. Yeah, no, it is though. Anyway, so they have New Blood versus the Millionaires Club. It's bananas, and one of the features is Kimberly Page, in truly an amazing performance, turns in an absolute asshole of a heel. Like she is just everything you want to dislike of like a head cheerleader. Like, you want to know why I don't like him? Ugly.
Yeah. You know what? You know what she does that she does really well, and I don't think that wrestling has ever done this character well, and it's such a 2021 thing, is she is like
really
attractive yoga mom.
There were so many episodes.
She's so fucking against the vaccine. But that's what she is, though. She's like the, you know, exactly the meme of the Karen, and then like, I know better than you.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's sort of different than a Karen in that it's, I'm not doing that for my perfect babies. You can, because your babies might have Jewish blood. Like it's that sort of person where you're like,
she's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, she's really nice, but she's like, oh, I didn't vote for Trump. I voted for a handgun that fucks people. Like you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's kind of too like
kind of person that read Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal and just went, eat the poor. How keto?
No bread in the poor. They're too poor.
That's right. Yeah.
You don't have any bread.
Yeah. You just have a fucking big dick.
Yeah, but she turns this character where it's like, and it's so funny if you look at the past of this character where it's like, yeah, Diamond Dallas Page has always been inferred as a fucking asshole to her. But now she finally is taking some growing with him, and she's talking, and that's fucking shit, and you shouldn't do that. So shut the fuck up. And then like the crowd is calling her a slut and stuff, and she's visibly upset, which is like, she almost wants to be like, this is a toxic work environment, which would have made everyone go insane in 1999.
Oh my God. They literally would have burned down. They would have literally burned down
the arena,
the building. If she was like, this is a toxic work environment. Like Kimberly Page has just been named the #1 heel in wrestling. WWE invaded WCW last night to stop her from giving a promo.
But that's what she does, and she has a stable of Chuck Palumbo, Mike Awesome. She feuds with Miss Elizabeth. She feuds with David Flair. Like, it's like a lot of stuff. And honestly, when it gets into WCW 2000 towards the end of the company,
oh, the best.
But it's like the place is so poorly lit, like they don't even have lights anymore. They just are performing in the dark. And it's like, of course this thing got canceled. They fucking ripped all of the money out of it.
Ric Flair wasn't allowed to be given trunks. Like by the end of it, Ric Flair was wrestling in a Cubano shirt.
Yeah.
And ludicrously loose trousers.
Yeah, he was wet. Yeah, he had like old briefs that he would wear. John, why did she leave the company, John? Did you read that far? Why'd she leave the company?
I did read that far. She left so that she could appear in the movie Catwoman. No, that's not why.
She's Halle Berry now.
She left over a proposed angle with Russo, where she flashes Scott Steiner, and it was like by the way,
okay. But why did she rejected it, and then what happened after that?
Oh, I was skimming. He also, oh my God,
he got mad, and he being Scott Steiner gets mad.
Called her a cunt, approached her physically, and so she called Bischoff and left.
Here's how that went. I'll be Scott Steiner, you be Kimberly Page. Jimmy tits!
No.
Cunt!
Yep,
that's how that went.
That's exactly how. Can I just say, by the way, I was so right about ECW, worst place to be a woman in the locker room. WCW, right above. Like the only reason why it wasn't worse was nicer locker rooms. And also apparently they had their own locker room where Kimberly Page would just show up early and get the best spot. And Sherry Martel, because she's a nice person, was like, there's this weird rule where I'm supposed to get that, but I don't care. And then she got in trouble with other lady wrestlers who showed up. They were like, know your role, hot bitch. And she was like, I do know my role.
And then the other one,
keepers, losers, weepers. Yeah. Can we just talk about how Scott Steiner's, like, how weird was that show me's that he was managing and owning? This energy coming at a bunch of 16-year-old hostesses.
Oh, like, what no, I don't even want to think about that.
No, neither do I, but no wonder it closed.
Of course it closed, because anytime a male cook would burn a burger, he would call the female waitress a cunt. I guarantee
Rick Steiner saw that Trump lost the election, called Scott and was like, shut it down. America's not toxic enough anymore. And he's like, I understand, Rick.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Also, you want to know what the Steiner brothers' real name is? It's actually
Rick Steiner.
Rick Steiner is their full last name, which means Rick Steiner's name was, hi, Bill Watts. I'd like to be a wrestler. What's your name? John Rick Steiner? Rick Steiner it is. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. What was it? And Braun Breaker, of course. They should just change their actual last names to Breaker, because that's who they are now. But anyway, more Braun Breaker another time. Kimberly Page leaves WCW for a reason that literally could have made her millions and millions of dollars, but she did not pursue the lawsuit. Gonna guarantee it was because Diamond Dallas Page. Also, he was physically. We shouldn't gloss over this fact. Apparently, Scott Steiner was physically threatening her, and you know Scott Steiner is a human muscle who has amateur wrestling training, and I guarantee DDP had to be like, "Here's the deal. This guy's just gonna beat me up, then you. So there's no like, I'll die." And then she was like, so you're going to do nothing? And he's like, that's what I'm saying. And then he went on to the WWF.
I'm going to do less than nothing. I'm going to advise you, quit this company. Wait, what? And he's like, yeah, you heard me. See you now, bitch. Whoa, why are you calling me a bitch? I said, see you in hell, bitch.
Yeah, and she didn't go to, which I respect so much. Here's two people I respect, oddly. Sting and Kimberly Page, because she did not go to the WWF because she did not enjoy how the WWF portrayed women, and she for sure would have been like eating puke out of a fucking shoe or something because she was a WCW. You know what, actually, they treated the WCW women very well, but I guarantee she would have been lower down the card because you forget, but it's like Stacey Keibler-Torrey.
But here's the difference. Here's the thing, though, is that she would have come in, they would have portrayed her as old. Because they were already sort of doing that in WCW.
31. She's disgusting. 31.
Say it walking, mothball granny.
There you go. Are your hips broken? I bet they are. You're 31.
Yeah. Two, she's associated with Diamond Dallas Page, so she would have been like also like she would have been doing something very bad because Diamond Dallas Page read How to Deal with Vince McMahon so fucking wrong. and Kimberly Page would have been a hot woman next to a guy hugging Vince McMahon unsolicited. She would have had her head chopped off by. They would have, for some reason, the WWE has hired Edmund Kemper, and he will be just chopping Kimberly Page's head off on New Year's Revolution 2002.
Yeah, I can't imagine what her thing would have like. She would have been like an old. She would have literally her name would have just changed into grizzled slut.
Yeah. Smelly.
You have to talk like this. I can't sit on chairs because I'll swallow them. My pussy is too big.
Can you just die? Wait, what? Yeah. Welcome to the.
And in this storyline, you die of natural causes because legally speaking, I've never met a woman over 30.
Yay.
Linda's a man.
Yeah. Linda had her age removed in a surgery.
John, what's the best thing about Kimberly Page? What's the worst thing?
She quit wrestling because it was terrible for her and she didn't like it anymore. And then she went and had some nice roles in acting, so she gets a couple of bucks in the mail, and now she has a nice life. It's fucking great.
It is bullshit that they do not pay residuals for wrestling. Yes, she did try acting for a hot minute. Gave that up because she had her breast implants removed and tried to do roles that were non-sexual, and they were like, acting's still like wrestling? Fuck you. She, as of this point, her name is Kimberly Ross, and she works at a management consultant company near Salt Lake City, Utah. So maybe she's a Mormon. Who knows?
Yeah, she's. Let me, as someone who's been to Salt Lake City, Utah, if you're just looking to have a nice life, it is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's so nice. And Dylan, they have a Thanksgiving themed amusement park.
Okay.
Thanksgiving World.
Those Mormons will get up to anything, won't they? Do they
I
serve
agree, but
coffee there?
they do serve coffee there, yes.
Or did they shame you when they're like,
No. You got it. Here's what I have learned living in America, because it's a weird thing of I've never lived in an evangelical country before. Like I've never lived in a country with an evangelical element to certain places of it. And Utah Utah doesn't have any bars. It's only restaurants where they might serve beer, and the beer is less strength than it is anywhere else in the world.
oh wow.
But coffee is everywhere. And I asked, and they were like, yeah, coffee, Christian crack. And I was like, what? And they're like, that's the stimulant thing that they can have. So they
much like myself.
get into it. Yeah. Much like, well, Dylan, they're not also putting steroids in their coffee. For some reason, Darren.
Yeah.
Who's Darren?
Darren.
Dylan's new branded father vibe. He's now Darren God.
Yeah, I'm Darren.
Oh, who's that? Who's that hot man? He's got a rat tail and he's wearing a blazer, no shirt. Oh, that's Darren God. And he is both circumcised and also not, depending on ladies' preference. Darren God. So hot.
I have a bunch of foreskin I carry in my wallet in case they like that.
Yeah, in case either a lady likes it or there's a burn victim.
There you go. It's surprisingly stretchy. My favorite thing about Kimberly Page, her heel run was really strong.
It really was. She was all around. In terms of WCW, I put her in top 10 performer of that entire company, by the way. If we're going from just it being called I put her top 5. I would put her top 5. I'm putting her ahead of Sting.
She's one of the weird MVPs, and it kind of was like what she tried to do in oddly like she really loved Miss Elizabeth and loved working with Miss Elizabeth as well. And just that like valet with class and the way she carried herself with dignity on a wrestling show is something
which has got to be very difficult because people were treating her like she's a valet with ass.
There you go. But like that'll never happen again. Mostly because valets are probably done, and you can't they just won't allow dignity on professional wrestling.
100%. There's no way they're allowing dignity, and like dignity for such a sweet, nice woman. Guess a fucking again, bro.
But also, like, she's probably a lot. There's a lot of people who get into wrestling just because they get into wrestling and then never leave. Like, think of all the old football players who are like, I don't really like this. I'll just keep doing it until it destroys my body.
It destroys my body and life.
Yeah. But I guess that's what a lot of valets have the advantage of, is that they never really. The weird thing is, you never really get that crazy pop because you come out, so you don't really get the chance to be addicted to that. So then you get to live a better life afterwards.
They're also not addicted to it because they've all been forced into it by the person they're in love with.
That's very true, yes.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I would be kind of weirdly into it, except for the fact that, like...
And it's probably not fun to be backstage for a pretty woman.
No. Oh, my God.
Or a woman. I shouldn't say pretty woman. Any woman.
Yeah, no, Dylan, speak what's in your heart. As usual, Dylan's true feelings came marching on out.
Oh, here's how I feel. I feel like they shouldn't vote.
That is true.
And what's the worst thing about Kimberly Page?
How she was treated by the other wrestlers.
Yeah, probably how her relationship with Diamond Dallas Page.
Post WCW, by the way, she became more physically active, just skiing and horseback riding, and she says that she would have been a better wrestler today than she was in her 20s. Yeah, because they would have treated her with respect. I'm also surprised, by the way,
they would have taught her how to wrestle actively.
Yeah, I also don't know why AEW hasn't just brought her in yet, but that's fine.
I could see why, because they'd be like, "Oh, here's Kimberly Page, all right." But like, no one. Only through doing this episode have I realized how weirdly like A, innovative, and B, ahead of her time she was.
Good point.
And like there was literally no room in the year 2000 for any female performer who was like, I won't do that.
Yeah, the wrestling in the early 2000s, it was like, I want to portray a woman that reads. Say it, walking whore, no reading.
Oh, I'm a valet. Oh, okay. So you're like you're just like a bikini that has tape over its mouth. No, I want to be like Bobby the Brain Heenan type of thing, where I have a stable
Bobby
of
the Brain-
stopped
no,
listening.
No. Bobby the Brain Heenan never was power bombed by the Dudley Boys at every house show this year.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening to you.
How great would it have been though if you 90s up Bobby the Brain Heenan, where they put a weasel outfit on him, and then the Ultimate Warrior just starts beating off because that's his kink. That's pretty much what the Dudley Boys did, where they would slam
That is
women through
basically
tables,
what it is. Yeah,
and they would
yeah.
shoot fucking sperms everywhere.
It's one of the many times when you're watching wrestling being like, this is what I have to like. But you know what I like? I like all of the people that subscribe to our Patreon. Thank you so much.
Oh
for
yes, thank you
supporting us.
very, very much.
You are literally helping Dylan feed his child and me feed my addiction to Amazon.com fun t-shirts.
The more money you put into this show, the better the show gets. Because of your donations, we're able to have the wonderful Christopher Hobson do our research. We're looking to expand to like have someone who basically does the time codes of these episodes so we can put clips online and keep growing and keep making the show better. Thank you very, very much for joining our Patreon, and thanks very much for listening right now. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Wrestler Review, patreon.com/Wrestler Review. John's on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at the John Hastings. I'm at Dylan Gott, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and you can get us on Facebook.
Am I on TikTok as at the John Hastings?
I don't know. I just maybe misspoke.
Sweet. Also check out my other
you just post a
podcast.
bunch of stand-up clips. Yep.
Check out my other podcast, Untitled Twitch stream. Also check out Dylan's hot face on all his stand-up clips. Then come over to my house and give me $10. I gotta go do another podcast to promote this podcast. Dylan Gott. Look at Dylan's shooting. Dylan's shooting.